The Jacksonville Jaguars have had one of the most drastic rise and falls in NFL history over the past few years. They won the AFC South in 2017 behind their legendary defense dubbed Sacksonville and the ground and pound game that was led by rookie running back Leonard Fournette. We all remember the Jags playoff run, where they beat the Bills 10-3 in the wildcard round, then stunned the Steelers 45-42 to reach their first conference championship since 1999. We'll talk about that one later. Then, up 20-10 and one quarter away from the Super Bowl, Myles Jack forced a fumble and started running it back with no Patriot in sight, but the refs blew a quick whistle and the Jags offense failed to score for themselves. Brady then did Brady things and threw 2 touchdowns to Danny Amendola to put New England up 24-20 late in the fourth. On the ensuing drive, Jags quarterback Blake Bortles missed Fournette streaking down the sidelines for a guaranteed touchdown, and on 4th and 14, Stephon Gilmore made an unbelievable play to seal the Patriots' comeback. But the future looked bright in South Florida until the Jags collapsed to 5-11 in 2018, 6-10 in 2019, dismantled all of their defense, and had finished an atrocious 1-15 in 2020. But once again, fortune seems to be turning in Jacksonville's favor, with generational talent Trevor Lawrence soon on the way and new head coach Urban Meyer set to take over for the 2021 season. But the 2017 season wasn't the pinnacle for the Jags. Today we're going to talk about the best and maybe worst season in Jacksonville history. 1999. The expansion Jaguars and Panthers both came into the league in 1995, and both Cats were very successful in their first season. Both teams actually reached their respective championship game in 96, but 1999 was seemingly Jacksonville's breakthrough year. Criminally underrated quarterback Mark Brunell led the 6th-ranked Jacksonville offense with the double duos of James Stewart and Fred Taylor in the backfield, and Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardell out wide. Brunell was a scrambler in the league of Steve Young and Fran Tarkenton, and Smith set franchise records in receptions and yards. And as good as their offense was, their defense might have been the original Sacksonville, being the number 1 overall D in the league. These units combined helped the Jaguars finish with the best record in the league, 14-2, and the number 1 seed in the AFC. So now you've seen why it might have been the best season in franchise history. But why might it also have been the worst? To answer that, we have to look at the second number in their record, 2. 14 wins and 2 losses. After starting the season 2-0, the Jags welcomed in the newly named Tennessee Titans on a rainy day in Florida. Brunell struggled and the Jags trailed 20-17 late, but with 3rd and goal from the 3 and a chance to take the lead, Brunell's pass was picked in the end zone. The Titans took an intentional safety at the end of the game, making the final score 20-19 Tennessee. The Jags rallied and rattled off an 11-game win streak, obliterating most of their opponents to be 13-1 heading into Week 16. Then they had to go up to Tennessee and got smacked 41-14 for their second loss to the Titans that year. The Jags then won in Week 17, making them 14-0 against the rest of the league and 0-2 against the 13-3 wildcard Titans. Interestingly, the Jaguars did not beat a single team that finished over 500 during the regular season. In the playoffs, the Jaguars hosted the 6th-seed Dolphins in Dan Marino and Jimmy Johnson's final playoff game. The Jags annihilated the Finns 62-7, with Dan Marino getting benched just after the half in the final game of his career. The Titans won their playoff games also, but I'm a Bills fan, so I don't want to download the Music City Miracle, so yeah, they won their first 2 games, and yeah, that's all you need to know. So that set up the 3rd meeting between the Titans and Jaguars that year, this one for the right to go to the Super Bowl. The Jaguars couldn't have had a better start, forcing a 3-and-out on the Titans' first possession and then scoring a quick touchdown to go up 7-0. And it looked like Duval would keep it going as the Jags picked off McNair on a 3rd down play. However, defensive pass interference negated the pick and the Titans capitalized, knotting the score at 7-all. The Jags took an interception by corner Fernando Bryant all the way to the Tennessee 6, but just like in Week 3, Brunell threw a pick in the end zone. No harm came though, and Jacksonville drove right back down the field, capped off with a 33-yard touchdown run by James Stewart, giving them the 14-7 lead. The Titans pounced on a muffed punt and kicked a field goal to make it 14-10 at the half, and it seemed like an all-time classic was unfolding in Florida. Little did anyone know, that Stewart touchdown was the last time the Jaguars would score that season. The Jaguars punted their opening possession of the second half, and the Titans drove right down the field to the goal line, with McNair punching it in to take the 3-point lead. When Jacksonville got the ball back, Little U's Kyle Brady fumbled, giving McNair the ball at the Jags' 35. But that number 1 defense in Duval responded, and Kevin Hardy forced a Frank Wycheck fumble that was recovered at the 1. If that ball was recovered in the end zone by Jacksonville, this game might have turned out a whole lot different. And that was because when Brunell got the ball back, he was sacked in the end zone for a safety, being forced to start at the 1 instead of the 20. 1914 Titans with the free kick on the way.
Derek Mason and Isaac Bird are deep. This is Mason from the 20. 35, 40. Midfield, and there he goes!
This return broke the Jags, and the Titans took a 12-point lead in the blink of an eye. McNair rushed for one more touchdown before all was said and done, sending the Titans to their first Super Bowl in franchise history. 6 costly turnovers by the Jags did them in, and the best season in franchise history came to an end. To recap, the 1999 Jacksonville Jaguars finished 15-0 against every team not named the Tennessee Titans, and 0-3 against those Titans. And just like they did after their 2017 AFC Championship, the 2000 Jags collapsed, finishing 7-9 and out of the playoffs. So was 1999 the best or the worst season in Jacksonville's history? And more importantly, can Trevor Lawrence turn the franchise around and lead them back to the promised land?